Hey guys, it's time for our next episode of What's Up White Rock. And this week we decided that we wanted to take some questions from you. So,
Rebecca, what will you miss most about eighth grade? You guys are an awesome group of kids, and I really, really hate that we got cut out of an entire quarter with you guys. Um, that was, I, I would kind of like a do-over for this year with you guys.
All right, what will I miss most about eighth grade? Probably the fact that you guys were my first third grade class that I ever worked with. So I have known you guys the longest of everyone in the building. And I'm going to miss seeing your faces around. It's going to be hard to say goodbye. Another thing I'll miss is that you guys are a big group of readers, and I love being able to share my books as well as get recommendations from you guys.
what am I going to miss most about eighth grade? Primarily, it's how excited you guys are to learn, but also how well most of you work together. You guys are quick to take up for each other, almost like a real family. And I really enjoy just between your passion to learn and question and honestly call me on it if I teach something wrong, but in a kind way, and your ability to stick up for each other. I'm going to miss that so much. You guys don't even know what a blessing you are as a class.
Brady asked if I still have my snake. I do, but it's currently at the school, and until they can let me get in and get it, that's where he's going to stay.
Hi, this is my What's Up White Rock. I'm William, and my question is for Miss Dudley. And do you know what this is? I'll give you a hint. It came out of that.
William, that's a great question. And I know, you were trying to catch me not knowing stuff about cars. But I don't know anything about cars. My guess is that's a piston, and I didn't Google it, but I did ask somebody, is this a piston? And they said yes. So either I'm like some kind of car super genius, or we're both wrong.
Okay, so I'm a pretty well-rounded weirdo. Everything I do is weird. So I would say maybe the weirdest thing that I do right now is that I am a full-grown adult who loves to watch anime all the time.
Is from Riley. What's the weirdest thing you've ever done? Well, you guys know me. You know that I've done a lot of weird things. Um, Probably the weirdest thing has been the time that I had the flask explode in class. That's kind of one of those things that I wish I hadn't done.
Our first question is from Riley, and she asks, what is the weirdest thing that you've ever done? And for me, it's probably what I've been willing to just like experiences I've let myself do. When I was in China, I think it's chicken. I've seen rat being grilled. I didn't intentionally eat any, but when you ask the interpreter who asked the waitress and she says, I think it's chicken, I don't know, it could have been accidental, but I was willing, like I kept eating, it was good stuff. Those were two separate cities. So I'm not saying that I saw the rat being grilled in the restaurant where I didn't know what the food was. Let's be clear. But also in another city in China, I happened to be walking around and we ended up in the town square, and they were doing this fan dance, and these older Chinese ladies handed a fan, like put it in my hand, and I got to participate in this dance. And it was one of the coolest things I've ever gotten to do just because I was out and about and willing to participate. All of my really cool and weird things are travel related. So I don't know if I can narrow it down to the weirdest thing. In another city in China, we had hot pot, and where you just order different foods and they put it in a pot in the middle of the table, and it kind of like makes your soup right there. And one of the ingredients was duck foot. I didn't enjoy that. That wasn't delicious. When you try to bite on the cartilage, you could see like the channels for the bones. It like squeaked. And that was not delightful. So Riley, maybe the duck foot is the weirdest thing I have ever done. Would not recommend. Although if you're traveling, experience it, whatever.
Mr. Jones, in SOAP, what is one activity that you would like to do that we didn't get to do?
I miss getting to have you guys for a full week to just go do the cool stuff we were doing. I wish that we had been able to do an actual float trip. That was in the plans that we had to cut out. And I wish, because at one time we talked about possibly going to Jefferson City to work with Missouri River Relief, and we were going to spend a couple nights up there camping and doing some different things. And I kind of miss not getting. I miss getting to do that.
Hey guys, one of the questions that you had was, what was your favorite thing about middle school? My favorite thing about middle school, if I had to put a finger on it or something, probably aside from lunchtime where I got to hang with all my friends and stuff, the teachers that I had, my 6th grade English teacher, Miss Moss, she whooped my butt into shape academically. My 8th grade history teacher, Miss Adams, and my 8th grade multimedia teacher, Mr. Baker, all had very profound impacts on me, and they're kind of one of the reasons I'm doing what I do today. But just having all the friends that I made and, kind of figuring out what I was into and stuff in middle school, that was probably my favorite part was, just having my friends and having some good teachers.
What's your favorite memory of being in middle school? I don't have a lot. That was a long time ago, and I didn't really do a whole lot in middle school. So probably my favorite memory, though, if I'm thinking about it, and it's sort of right up there with Riley's question about what's the weirdest thing I've ever done. Me and a friend, we had to read the My Side of the Mountain book, and so several of us were planning to run away and try to live in Colorado. We were going to go live in the wild in Colorado. A bunch of kids from Southwest Missouri who'd never seen Colorado. And while obviously we never did go do that, it did because we were trying to learn all this stuff to live in the wild. That did sort of spark an interest into a lot of the conservation and things like that I'm really interested in. So that's probably my favorite memory.
Hey guys, the last question I'm going to answer is from Anthony. He asked us, what is your favorite memory from middle school? And I will be 100% honest with you guys. My favorite memory from middle school was it ending. I hated middle school. I was happy to go to high school and be done with it. Looking back, I'm grateful for the experience and what it taught me. But middle school kind of sucked for me. I was nerdy. I wasn't one of the cool kids. I didn't dress the nicest. My family wasn't super rich. It wasn't that it wasn't fun and I had friends, but it was awkward. So for me, going to high school and that was starting of me realizing none of the rest of that stuff matters, that I'm always going to be the nerdy kid. I'm never going to care as much about clothes. I'm not into fashion. Like, these are things that are just who I am. And it's not that my friends define me or the people I'm around, but it's that those characteristics are who I am. And that's not going to change, so I might as well love it. And I mean, you guys know, I unabashedly love the fact that I am a nerd, and I will always be a nerd, and I will never apologize for being a nerd because it's kind of awesome. So that was my best part of middle school, is not being in middle school anymore.
All right, I don't know if it's my favorite memory, but the most memorable thing that happened to me in middle school was when I broke my leg in 7th grade. It took the majority of the next 8 months in order to be able to walk without crutches or a brace again.
And then Anthony asked, what was the coolest thing I've ever found in the woods? There's been a lot of cool things I found, and obviously I can't get to this right now either, but that deer skull that's up on top of my cabinets, I found that whenever I was out walking in the woods. But probably the coolest thing is this. And I was walking through the woods one day years ago. It was deer season. I'd been out hunting, and I was walking through, coming back up. At the time, we didn't live out here. We lived somewhere else, and we just owned the land. And I found this arrowhead just sitting on top of a rock, like somebody had just set it there. It had rained a couple nights before, and it had washed it out of the bank and just left it sitting there on a rock. And so I picked it up and took it back with me. And that was the first one that I found out here. And then I went back a week later and found this in almost the exact same place. It was sticking out of the mud, and I kind of dug it out and looked at it. This is a scraper, if you can't tell. It's obviously, you can see all the napping marks where they napped it. And I just thought that was really cool because, it shows how these people, I took this arrowhead and went to the library and borrowed a book. And according to the book, this arrowhead is about 1,000 years old. And so it was cool because it showed how all these people lived here, going back centuries, had come here to make to help support their families or whatever. And people have been doing that just for literally millennia. And then as we were building and kind of clearing out places for the yard and doing some different things, I found some other really cool ones. This one is really cool. I've got a lot of pieces of them where the equipment, as it moved over the ground, I think broke up a lot of them. And these were just right out in front of my yard. This one, you can see the nap marks, but you can't tell really what it was. This one looks like a blank that maybe they started and then either gave up on it or lost it or whatever. This one was a really cool one that I found. It's been broken up too, but I actually found it down on the river. And then this guy, and this, if you can't tell, it's incredibly thin. In fact, I could probably break that with my fingers. And so whatever they put this on, which was probably some kind of dart they used for birds or something like that, they had to be very careful with it because that is obviously going to break really easily. And so those are just a few of the really cool things that I found in the woods. So hope to see you guys again soon. I hope you guys are still staying safe, that you're washing your hands, that you're keeping some distance. Even whenever they lift the order next week, we really should try to kind of keep some distance just to keep this from moving. We don't want it to move very fast. So just keep doing what you guys do.
All right, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed hearing some of the responses from your teachers. And this goes without saying, we miss you guys. We miss being in the classroom with you guys, and we hope you guys are staying safe. So for next week, we're going to do something different again. We're going to do a 30-second talent show-off. So what this is you guys will need to put together a video clip of some sort. You can use your imagination however you want to do that. And just to show off in 30 seconds something that you are proud of, you're talented at, like something like that. So it could be like playing guitar, it could be playing music, it could be singing, it could be like, I don't know, walking your dog, showing off a dog trick, whatever. The imagination is up to you. I got something in the work for you guys, so I'm hoping to show that off for you guys. Alright, so if you want to submit that video clip, it needs to be turned in by Wednesday of next week so Miss Deli can get it together. In the way that you need to send it in is you can send it in through the White Rock Junior High Facebook page. You message it on there, or you can send it as an email to Miss Dudley at adudley@mcdonaldr1.net. All right, bye guys. Stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, bye.